Hello everyone. Welcome to today's video. My name is Lucas, and today we're going to be building a design portfolio in a tool that I love called Framer. So as you can see here, Framer is a website builder. It's completely with no code. It's free to use. Obviously, you have to pay to host the website. So if you have a really small page with 2 pages, it's going to be $5 a month if you pay for the yearly, or it's going to be 15 month for the basic if you want to have more pages. Obviously, I have a link below with a discount code, so you'll save even more money in the first 3 months. So check out that if you're interested. But yeah, we're going to be using Framer. I love Framer because it's so easy to use. If you are into tools like Figma or Adobe XD or Illustrator even, or Photoshop, using a tool like Framer is not such of a big learning curve as it is with, for example, Webflow or WordPress or Wix, for example. It's very easy to use, and there's a lot of design flexibility. That's why I'm targeting this video for design portfolios, because as a designer, we want our portfolio to look nice, right? So if this is interesting to you, let's jump on in. So as I create an account for Framer, you can either use the web browser version, or you can download the app like I am using right here. This is the Framer app, desktop app. And right now I just created a workspace for myself called templates, because this is where I build like all my templates. And if you're familiar to a tool like Figma, all you have to do is just click up here to create a new project, right? So you click up here, it starts to load, and then you choose the workspace where you want it to be. Let's choose templates like I did. You're gonna have something like general, for example. Click on confirm, and we're gonna write portfolio over here and click enter. Now to start off, I just wanna show you guys the easiest way of doing it. So the easiest way is by using component libraries. So basically, before we do anything, let's open up the different breakpoints. And we have desktop, tablet, and phone. And the easiest way of building a website for you, right? Let's say that you want a home page and you want project pages, right? That's like the main structure for a portfolio. For the home page, we're going to use a static page, which is the one that Framer gives us as default. And what we can do to, introduce some design is we can use plugins, and we can use component libraries like FrameBlocks, for example. FrameBlocks is a component library that I've used recently. I really like, and it comes out with a lot of new sections every week or every 2 weeks. And basically you have a lot of different editable hero sections, feature sections that you can use. So for example, you can just drag and drop this, right? And just make sure that this is looking good everywhere. You can go to features. Where is this here? Go to features, drag and drop this down here. You can also do something like this, where you can introduce your projects, and then we can do something like a contact section, where we have something like this, or you can go Command Z and put something more with a form, and then we can go back and choose a type of footer. I guess that's here in the components. Use footer, and just drag and drop a footer, right? So as you can see, this one is purple and these are blue. This is because this is a component, and this is something that you can be reused in different parts of your project. So you can basically put it in, if you create different pages, right? New page, and you were to copy this footer and bring it to this new page. And if we were to go back here and double click on this and click on unlink and replace all, and change the year over here to 2025, and we go back home, it's changed over here, and it's also changed over here, right? So that's components. So this is like the paid version of using Framer. Like, you can just pay for FrameBlocks, and the link to that is also in the description below. And you can have access to a component library like this, where you can just easily drag and drop, and then you just have to replace your content with your text here and your different images and so on and so forth. But let's say that we don't want to take that route. Let's say that we want to take the free route. So if we don't want to pay for components and we just want to try to build it ourselves, we have to understand like the main fundamentals of Framer. So basically you just, add in a text, for example. You can, let's click on here again, click and add a text and say heading text. And let's just place it over here for now. And then we put description text. So right now we're doing this very visually without any rules. So let's make this about 36. Let's keep this 16. And then let's make a button. So in order to make a button, let's just replace the text like this. Button text. And let's right click and add a stack. And let's make this fit the content and this fit the content. Add some padding and give it a fill. Let's give it make it like a blue button with white text. We can make the text white like this and then put the button right over here. So right now you're seeing it's not really responsive, like not at all. And what we can do is we can add an image. So if we click on the F, we could just go like this and replace this with an image. And now how would we make this responsive? Well, let's say that these two texts, we want them to be closer to each other. So we add a stack. Then we add a stack. So let's go open our layers. So this would be the button. We can call it the button. And this would be called the heading. Right? Let's put this over. And then let's add a stack to this. And let's call this the left. And this one would be a stack as well. So it's all with stacks, right? And then these two are basically stacks, but they're still like kind of on top of each other. And that's because this has to have a layout as well. This has to also be a stack. So once we got that, let's just do this. Let's add a stack like this, going to the left, where the left begins first. This stack would be a fill. This one would be not relative, would be fill. This one would also be fill. And boom, we have something going on here. And this would have to be a fit content. And let's make sure that this is left aligned. Everything here is left aligned. Let's make it fill. So this is looking better. And this, for example, can be fill. And then this main stack, which can be called the hero section. So we basically created a component for a component library, right? Called hero. So we're still not done. We still got to make it look much nicer. But basically looking like this, putting 60 on the sides. So we have some padding. And then boom, we can just replace this with another image. If we go here to Lumi, probably choose something like this or like this. And this can be, for example, your image or a graphic of what you've done, right? So basically it's going like this, styling it, making, changing the fonts to whatever you want. So we can choose something like this for a header, for example, making it semi-bold, right? So these are kind of like sections that you can, they're not components, they're going to change right here. And if you like copy it to another page and you change it here, it's not going to change that other page, right? That's for components. And in order to make that into a component, you right click, create component, and it's going to be a hero component, right? So that's how you do it. And then it turns purple, as you see. But let's Command Z and let's go back. So now this is basically the way of I'm not going to go so deep into creating. I want this video to be a little bit shorter, just so that you understand the basics of building in Framer. So now what we want to do is let's duplicate this and let's make this like this. Let's remove this image. And we don't really need this button for now. Let's make this is going to be our projects, right? So our projects. And underneath this, we want to have like a grid of projects. Let's actually add some style to this. It kind of looks a little bit ugly, right? So we can maybe add like a border, add some shadow, realistic, and we can build our own navbar, but I like to use like free components for this. So we can use like, for example, Compa, and use a navbar from Compa and just drag it in like so on the top. There we go. Now it's starting to look more and more like a real page, right? So let's close this. So that was a free component, right? They're not all free from Compa, but that one is a free one in particular. So we also don't want this hero section to be so wide when we have a big monitor, for example. So let's make the width have a max width. So this is going to set a maximum width of 1200 pixels. So once it hits 1200 pixels, it stays there, right? So, and let's actually do that. Let's just copy this now that we have it like this. Let's delete this right one. Let's call this projects. So let's again delete the button and our projects. Now what we want to do is we want to create a CMS, right? This is the best way of, maintaining projects. You can import these if you have your projects from Notion or from Google Sheets or from, somewhere else. You can import it as a CSV as well. But let's just start it from scratch. So we can put add blog, and we have, for example, different categories. We can call this like web design, we can call this like UX research, UX research, and we can call this, for example, like prototyping, and we can delete this one. So just by right clicking and clicking on delete. So we have like three main categories, and then we can rename this to projects, and these are going to be different projects, right? So each project has its title, has its slug for the URL, the date of completion, a cover image, the categories, and it has content. So this is something that you can reuse, that you can use. It's standard from Framer, and you can use for your different project pages. And this is the best way of creating project pages in Framer. So right off the bat, it creates this like project page, thing, this index page of different projects. But let's just delete this. We don't really need it for now because we want to start from scratch. And what we can do is we can go here to collections and insert our projects down here, right? And now they're going to be like in the same hierarchy as this top part. And we can make this fill, and we can make this look like this. And we can turn this into a grid. Perfect. And this grid can have, for example, like, I don't know, something like this, right? And then we can set the width to fill, set like a fixed height here. And boom, we already have a nice little, how would we call it? Like a project grid, right? So this is going to be the title. We can even duplicate this. And instead of putting the title here, we can add a variable, remove this, and click on category is set. Oh wait, no, we don't want to do that. We want to put something else, like category set, and yes. Actually, no, we don't want to do this. Let's just think of something else. For the date, we can add the date, for example. And we can also, for example, add the different categories. So we saw the project, and we can add the categories as well. So we can add the categories, make this fill, and make this go like this. So we have the different categories, and we can style this, right? We can style everything. So these don't have to look so, default. We can click on the first one. We always have to style the first one, and then remove this body tag. And we can go like this and change the color a little bit, make it to this. We can even use these different headings, right? And we can style these headings everywhere. So this can be like a heading 1. This can be like a heading 2. And basically we can style the headings to be a specific font. So we used this one before. So now it's going to look like that. And we can go ahead here and change this also to that other font that we liked. And same here. So this is basically setting your style guides. And this is very important for consistency around your project, right? So we have this like this. We have our projects. And then we can, for example, go down here and we can right click, add stack. And the stack can be fit. And we can add a padding. And then this stack can have like a nice border with a cool radius. So it's a circle. And then we have our different like categories like this, right? So this can be a way of portraying our projects, right? But we don't really want our categories. So now what we can do is we can go plus a new CMS page, and we can add either category detail page, which is basically a page about a specific category, or an index page, which is a page that shows all of the categories. So we want to do that, but a project detail page. So this would be like the default project detail page. And in order to edit this, you would want to go back here. You would want to go back here, and let's say you want to get this nav bar from here. Let's just go back to our project page. We can click enter, and we can put this on top. And then you can see that there's like kind of like a weird default setting here. It's just because you have to remove these desktop padding settings from here. Now it's going to be totally normal. And what you can see is we can add the different sizes here, and let's make sure that this is always set to fill, right? So it's going to work on all. Let's make sure that it's also like that in the home page. Let's make sure that it's set to fill. So, and then in order to make this responsive, we can go ahead and start doing certain things. We can adjust the style for the home, for the heroes section. For example, with the mobile, it's going to look differently. The image will be, I guess, smaller in the mobile version. We can make this grid go like this. In the mobile version, we can make the grid by 2 in the tablet version. So this is basically the easy way of doing the responsiveness, right? And then what we can do here, I mean, we can just style this. We can click this. We can set this to a fill, and it's really filled up. So let's just add another stack to it. Actually, we want to add another stack to it. So add stack. And let's make sure that this stack has a nice padding, just like in the home page of 60/60. And it's starting to look better. And we can make sure that this is also filled up. We can make it start on the left if we want. Make everything, left aligned by doing this. We can make this go have a fill content. I don't know what to say. Okay, it has a max width, so let's remove that max width, right? And then what we can do is we can also add, like, again, a CMS collection, projects, and put it down here and go like this. And again, style it so that it looks similar to the home page. I want to maybe make it fill the width. And we want the image to be fill, and maybe have a larger height. And then, for example, here, the user can click on these different images and take them to the other detail pages, right? Or they can click on this what's new. So there's different ways of styling this. And you can, basically what you can also do is you can go to your CMS and click on edit fields. And if you want to add more content, you can just duplicate this and be like, this can be like the conclusion of your project. And we can click here and just copy like a little text, right? Go back here. We can duplicate this, and this can be linked to conclusion, right? And that's how it would look like. So this is like the very basics of designing your portfolio in a tool like Framer. And once you're done, once you have like a nice basis of your portfolio, once you like it, again, you want to have a home page. You want to basically have your CMS collection as your different projects. Once that's done, once you have a good idea and it looks all nice in terms of responsiveness, you can click on publish, and Framer will basically generate a working URL for you. So you can even click on this, go back here and see that it's working nice and smoothly, right? Cool. So yeah, that's basically it. And once it's done, again, these are the different pricings. This one would be based on the mini version because we're just using one page and one CMS collection. So that's great if you have a portfolio website. So if you want to use Framer for this, check out the link below and I'll have a special deal for you guys. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining today. It was a quick tutorial. A lot of people are designing their portfolios using Framer, and this is like a really good way of knowing the fundamentals of how to get started. And then once you know this, you can go ahead and put your content, make it your own style. If you have any questions, please feel free to DM me on Discord, or just comment on this video, or find me in Twitter. I'll be more than happy to help you. And yeah, I also provide like consultation calls. It's also down in the link below. So if you need help with that, just let me know. And other than that, hope you guys have a wonderful day. And yeah, see you guys soon. Bye-bye.